Hello and welcome everyone. Today we're going to be doing the tier list ranking all the Anemo characters as of 3.4. Just today actually the 3.5 promotion came out. So we're excited to see what's coming in the future within the next like 2 weeks or so. And remember to redeem your codes and whatnot, and look out for the Pizza Hut glider if you missed out on the KFC glider like I did and regret it. Definitely be sure, if you have your Twitch Prime or whatever, claim those rewards and whatnot. And let's get started. First off, we have Farazan. Farazan is strictly like an Anemo damage buffer. Outside of that, she doesn't really do much. She doesn't have like crazy utility. She has like a little bit of like a suction move. But like, this is about a lot of Anemo characters that have suction moves that are way better. And hers requires like, you have to use your skill and then charge an arrow shot. So it's like a little bit work to get off. And she's better with like a lot more of her constellations as typically these attribute buffers are. But she's really solid as an Anemo buffer. And she's a really fun character. She's really cool, really interesting. And she's actually I think she's getting a hangout in this promotion. I didn't really watch it. I just kind of read the comments, and whatever the comments say, I just kind of rock with. And I wasn't even really reading the comments. I was just looking for the codes, let's be real. But yeah, apparently she's getting a hangout, which is cool. I really like her as a character, so that's gonna be fun to play through. But overall, I think she's an A tier character. She's really fun, really interesting, and she's got really sassy voice lines. It's really just a pleasure to play her, because she just like. It's just like, let's see how you like this. It's dumb stuff like that. And it's like, what did you say? Yeah, try calling me madam for it. Like, it's like she's just like really fun to play. She's like characters with really cool voice lines, really fun voice lines. They stick around a lot more in your teams because they don't get bland, they don't get old, and she's a really interesting character. And I like the design of like the shapes and everything, the geometry, because she's supposed to be like really smart and shit. So she's got like shapes and stuff. So it's like cool. Next up we have Heisel. Heisel hits really hard. He's like a truck. He's very easy to build. I'm sure you have so many like viridescent Venerer set or whatever. Very many pieces of those. He's very easy to build. You just build a bunch of like off-field like different attributes, and then he just swirls, and then charges R2, and it's just like super heavy hit. His ult is like okay, but like his main thing is like his burst. I mean, his main thing is his skill, and when it gets its 4 charges, it does a lot of damage. And I think it does more than like you can like hold it, like manually charge it, but I think it does more if it like builds up. But he's like he's really fun, really cool character, very interesting. He had a hangout. It was really fun because it had Ito in it, of course. But like he's egging on Ito and stuff like that, and it's like pretty fun. It's like he's just like an idiot, so it's like Heisel's just like a genius, and he's like, I think we like found him. He was like locked up in a cage, and he's like, bro, how did you get like this? And but he's a pretty cool character overall. He's got an interesting design and everything. He's got that weird stick thing. I don't even know why he needs it, because it's supposed to be like a baton kind of thing. But like he's just so strong. However, I think you really need some of his constellations for him to be really good, or it like makes him like better or something. But he hits hard enough. I think he's a solid. I think he's like top of A tier. There are definitely better Anemo characters that are easier to like do stuff with, but he is a really cool character. And like even if you don't like build him like extremely like crazy well, he can still do a lot of damage and whatnot. And his moveset is like looks so cool. Like his charge attack is like he's doing like a kicking uppercut. He's got such a fancy cool moveset. He's got a couple kicks and punches, and he's like an Anemo catalyst, but like he's doing like all these like punching and kicks. Like, it's such a fun cool character to play. Next up is Jean. Jean's cool because she can she's like split between like DPS and healer no matter what you do. Like even if you completely build her as a healer, she'll still do like a little bit of like DPS with like her like skill and whatnot. But if you completely build her as a DPS, she'll like do just a tiny bit of healing. But like the main thing is like she's gonna do like mainly DPS, but also like you're gonna get healing on top of that, which is just like extremely cool. Her normal attack has like a 50% chance of like healing your team for like by like a bit, and like just for free, with one of her like ascension talents. And then her ult like heals, and then like if you stand in the circle it produces like it heals like as well. So it's cool stuff. She can do a lot for your team. She can DPS, she can group like smaller enemies together, she can heal, swirl and all that. Very strong character, very good. I think she's S tier. A lot of people might not agree with that, because they're just upset to pull Jean when they want like their like Yelan or Hu Tao or whatever. But either way, I think she's a very strong character. I think pulling her and using her, especially early game, if you get her, like having like a DPS and a healer in one, can really like make your time like a lot simpler and funner. And she's got a cool design. She's a cool character. Very like mom-like. Not like mommy, you know, don't be weird, guys. But like she's like, you know, she's just like, she like looks out for everyone. She's like looking out for her homeboys, you know. She's like you know, she does DPS because she's like fighting to defend them, but she heals because she's looking out for them at the same time. It's like really like her playstyle is a really cool attribute to her character as well, which I really much admire. And her design and everything, you know, like Saber from Fate Stay Night. So it's like you can't not love Jean. Like I lost like when I was getting like the Raiden Shogun, I lost once on the 50-50 and I got Jean, and I wasn't even like upset. Like I was like, bro, I finally got Jean. The only one I'm missing now is the luck, but getting Jean was like really cool. And I got like a constellation or two of hers where like her like charged skill does a lot more damage if you like hold it longer. It's a really fun skill to play with too, like extremely fun. You just start throwing like enemies around, and you can throw around teammates if their like connection is bad too. It's really cool. Moving on, we have Kazuha. Kazuha is like, Jean's probably gonna be like lower S tier at the end of this, but Kazuha is like definitely higher towards the S tier list. Everything about Kazuha is like extremely interesting, cool. He's like a fugitive from Inazuma who became a pirate with Beto of all people, the coolest like character known to man. And then on top of that, he's like into like haikus and stuff, and he's like talking about the wind. And he looks like a kid, but he's like drinking sake, and he's got like a maple leaf, and like there's just so many interesting aspects of him that are just like, bro, who is this guy? Like, and he's got such a great move set where like he gets like the assisted jump or whatever, and then like his ult is just beautiful. It's just like a circle around you, and just like these like slashes that come in every now and then, and whatever attribute it like it swirls or whatever, it just becomes that color. It just looks so nice. He's such a nice, fun character to play. He looks really cool. I don't have him personally, but I can't see myself getting tired of like playing Kazuha long term. He's a really cool, interesting character, like everything, like in every way, shape, and form. And the more we learn about him, because like he's gotten a lot of love the past like year, and the more we learn about him and like the Ishin clan or whatever that he's from, and like he's like one of like the last members or the last member or whatever, and we find out like their history and like Inazuma and like with Scaramouche and whatever, and like the doctor or whatnot. Like there's just like so much going on. It's like insane, like how interesting they have made Kazha throughout the years. Next up, we have Sawyu. I think Sawyu's like ET. No, I think she's actually a lot better than that. I think Sawyu is actually an A tier character because of her passive talent and her elemental skill. Other than that, her playstyle and whatever, like, it's not that interesting. She's got like she throws out this little like doll thing, and it like heals you for like a bit. I don't even think it does damage, it just heals you. I think it provides like a buff or something too, or of some kind. I think it gives like elemental mastery. I don't know. Like no, you build her with elemental mastery. I don't think it buffs elemental mastery, but it's pretty like all right. She doesn't really do much outside of that. And in terms of combat. She doesn't do that much damage. She's just a healer mainly, but she does have a very, very handy elemental skill where she like rolls around and like she does like Anemo damage, and she can like stop that and like do like a quick slash or whatever at the end of the rolling. But it lasts for a pretty long time, and it's very handy for getting around. Like if you've traveled throughout Sumeru's desert, she's a very good character to have. Just for sake of like mobility and like traveling and whatnot. Very extremely useful character. Will save you a lot of time in the long run if you keep her on your team. And it also helps that like when you're just running around, like you're not gonna run this like full meta team like to beat up a hilly trail, you know, with your setups and like with the right elemental like timing and everything, and like you're not gonna do all that. You're gonna have like a nice team to run around with that play for fun. And she complements that team by being a healer, because you know you're gonna get hit. There's fire on the grass. Dumb stuff always happens, and you're gonna have a healer, and on top of that, you're gonna be able to run around a lot smoother. In terms of like exploration, it's very, very handy to have Sawyu, and like little animals and stuff like that won't run away from you when she's in your party. And like the main thing that means is that crystal flies are a lot easier to collect. So 1000%. Definitely useful. Moving on, we have Sucrose. I think Sucrose is like B tier. I think like when she came out, I think she was extremely good. I remember people were saying like, oh man, C6 Sucrose is better than C0 Venti, and I just refuse to believe that to this day. What like I don't want like a C6 Sucrose. She's like a loser, bro. She's like a nerd. She's like a shy girl that's not shy, that is shy. Like I don't care for Sucrose. I don't like her. She's like it's good that what's his name beat her up or whatever, like pushed her to the ground, like pallet or whatever. Like she's like whatever. Like, but she is a good support unit. Decently, like Kazha was like way better. Like and every like I remember the old like buff team was like Mona, Sucrose, Bennett, and then like one DPS character. And then like after like Kazuha is released, they just replace Sucrose with Kazuha because he's just cooler and better. And yeah, Sucrose is just like no reason to use her anymore. We have Kazuha, and even without that, like I still wouldn't use Sucrose. She's just not like a character I like. Maybe I'm bashing her too much, but she does provide support and whatnot. She could be good for your team build or whatever. She does have like, I think when you get constellations, you can use her skill like twice, which is like kind of cool. She has like the whole butterfly thing, which looks really nice. She's got like the cool little ears, which is like okay. But overall, I think there's better characters you could use. If you want to use her, you can use her, but I don't think she's that good anymore. I don't think she was ever that good, honestly. But it is what it is, right? Anemo Traveler. I think Anemo Traveler is like F tier. What is that? It just popped up. What's going on here? Yeah, Anemo Traveler is like terrible. Like the elemental skill is like this, like it like sucks in all the enemies and like can swirl or whatever when you hold it, but it like explodes and like sends them all flying, and then you gotta go like run to each one and like beat them up again. Like the ult is like this like tornado, which when I first played the game looked so cool. Like it just like suck up all the enemies and like fly them around. And then after a while I was like, bro, these guys are like scattered all over the world now. Like I gotta like, you gotta go pick them up like Dragon Balls. Like they're just so far apart, and you gotta run around, and like it's like stuff like that is like terrible for like anything like time based, like any of like the time based trials where it's like beat up these enemies, or it's like if the enemies are like too big to like swirl or pick up, like ruin enemies, like ruin guards or whatever, then like you're not gonna like do anything to them. You're gonna like tickle them. Like yeah, you can still do damage and swirl them, whatever, but like you have to like stand still and they're just gonna smack you, and like it's like what's the point, bro? Like the moveset is just like horrendous, and there's no like useful applications like the Geo one. So like unfortunately, Anemo Traveler F tier. Don't play them like ever. Like, remove them like by any means. Go pick up like a more useful element on the Traveler. Next up is Venti. By God, do I love Venti. Man, I'd say Venti is... I think Venti is probably the best Anemo character. And like, he's the Archon. But like man, he makes life so easy. Like people say that like Kazha kind of replaced him. I don't see it, but he just his skill was like okay. He creates this like this upward like gust for like a couple of seconds. So it's really good for traveling around and whatnot. Combat wise, you just use it just to charge your ult. And like he's like arrows. Oh yeah, actually what's really cool is like when he holds his bow, he's the only character that holds it sideways, like some kind of like gangster or something. It's like it's really cool. It's really funny. Like it's so unassuming. Like he just doesn't look like the type. But other than all that, the main thing about Venti is his burst. It is extremely useful, extremely good. It creates this like this giant black hole that can swirl elements, and it just sucks in all the enemies. And like if they're like smaller enemies, they're gonna be like floating, so like they can't move or anything. If they're bigger enemies, they kind of just get like pulled into it, but not like immobilized by it. But they're still in it, and they're still getting hit by like the Anemo, whatever you swirled, whatever you're reacting with. And if you have like Venti, and then you like swirl like fire or something, and then you have like Raiden Shogun's like skill up. Like there's so many numbers on screen. It's like you got jumped by a calculator. It's insane. It's like he's just so fun and easy to use. Like I built him just to spam his ult. Like I don't care about damage that he can do or anything. Like I just want him to spam his ult just so all the enemies are grouped up together as often as possible, and in most cases immobilize as much as possible, and just like spamming attacks that like do like AoE, like electro charge and stuff like that, or overcharge or whatever, and like just doing stuff like that and just like beating them all to hell. Like he's such a simple character. There is no like you could do all like the math and crazy stuff and build them to like do damage and whatnot, and like stringless builds, and like have them do like crazy numbers. But you can build them as brainless as you want. Like the way I did them was I did 4-piece Noblesse Oblige. So he's just spamming his ult and just buffing everyone. Because I don't care if he swirls, I don't care if he does damage. There's no point for me to put the Viridescent Venerer set on him. So like he's gonna buff everyone else, and everyone else is just gonna go in and just beat up all the enemies. And he's gonna have his ult charge because I built him with like Elegy of the End and like energy recharge pieces. So he's just like he's probably got more like energy recharge than my Raiden Shogun. He's insane, bro. So like he's a very brainless, fun character to play. But if you really want to go in and like do some wild stuff with him, 1000% you can. Next up is Scaramouche. Scaramouche is another really good one. I don't know per se if he's better than Kazuha, but I'll put him up there with him for sure. Yeah, for sure he is S tier though. Scaramouche does like he does insane damage. He's got a artifact set made just for him, and you know, there's a lot of hype behind him. You know, I've been playing since the beginning. I remember seeing him interact with Mona and like Fischl and whatnot, and he just drops some crazy knowledge. He's like, the stars aren't real, and Mona's like, what? And then he just like leaves, and we never see him for like years, and then he pulls up in Inazuma for like 30 seconds, and then we don't see him, and then he pulls up in Sumeru, and then we beat him up finally, and now we finally get to play him, and he's not at all what I wanted. However, he is still really fun and cool. I miss his bigger hat and his old outfit, 1000%. But he's a really like there's just so much behind this character, like whether you love him or you hate him, you've heard and known so much about him. Even if you weren't playing since the beginning, everyone talks about him. Everyone's been talking about him for years. Like I remember they said like, oh man, he's gonna be coming out like next year, since the beginning of the game, and it's been next year for like 3 years. Like there's just so much hype that built up for like years, and then when they released them, they were like, here's this random Anemo buffer just to make him even better. It's such a goat move on Mihaly's part. But his playstyle is pretty lackluster. You kind of like you use his skill and then you just like spam charged attacks, which like the first few times it was like, whoa, he's like flying and everything. And then when you're like spamming charged attacks, for like hours. It's like, damn, bro, this got old. But like his skill is still very useful. Like flying around, you can get a lot. It's like the best of like a lot of characters like Venti and like Kazuha. They can go like upward, like they can go up. Sawyu helps you quickly go like anywhere within like like anywhere like on ground like pretty fast, as long as it's not like on water or like a hill or something. I mean, you can go on water if you have ice. If you swirl ice, it's good to know. And then Zhao helps you go like he helps you go a little bit, but to like a small degree. But Wanderer, there's no limitations other than like his meter. But you can go like any direction. You can go forward really fast. You can go up, and you can kind of just go from there. But like it's extremely useful exploration wise. He's one of the most useful characters exploration wise. He does good damage, does a lot of damage. He's very fun to try out with different builds. He's got a really nice animation on his burst. Like he just picks like a giant like wind ball or something, and like it just does a lot of damage. It looks really cool. But overall, like you can get tired of him really fast. But exploration, like with him, is like extremely fun and easy. Like you can get across gaps and everything. He's just like it's like you just went into like creative mode on Minecraft. Like he just like starts flying around. Definitely worth it, just for that at least. Next up, we have Zhao. Zhao is another S tier character. Oh, I don't think he's quite better than Scaramouche, but Zhao's one of like the big three. Like Zhao, Hu Tao, and Ganyu. I don't remember what order they came out. I think it was Ganyu, Zhao, Hu Tao. And yeah, when those three characters came out, like everything in Genshin Impact changed. Like people were hitting crazy numbers. People were like doing wild stuff with like less effort. So when they put in all this effort for like characters that weren't hitting as hard, and they switched them out for like these three characters, life changed. But Zhao's got really cool like design other than being short, and he's got like really cool character quest. Not character quest. He's got a really cool like event in the chasm, and like whenever he's around, it's very interesting to see him. Like I don't know why, for some reason like he's like very moody and like lonely and everything. But a lot of the time when we see him interact with other people, and it's like it's I don't know, it's like very pleasing. I'm not like a crazy big fan of Zhao or anything, but I like seeing him like interact with other characters, and I like seeing him do stuff with other characters. It's just very like, I don't know, it's like making like a person out of him, stuff like that. Maybe the karmic debt or whatever won't like weigh upon him as much or something. But he's a very strong character, but his playstyle gets very old very fast. It's his skill will like do like this like dash attack, and you can do it midair too. It's a really cool, strong move. Simple. I think when you get like, I think it has like 2 charges, and if you get like C1, he has like 3 charges or something like that. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe he has like 2 charges if you, what's it called? I don't know. I don't remember. I don't play him, but it's pretty solid. Like it helps you build up your ult, and his ult is like his main damage output. So you use his ult, and you're able to jump extremely high, which is like pretty cool in terms of like kind of everything, you know, exploration wise and everything. But you'd have to like get his ult like while you're exploring, which is like kind of whack. But like it lets him, like for a period of time, it lets him jump really high, and then he spams plunging attacks, and it gets very old very fast. Zhao gameplay is up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and like it's like not as fun, but it does a lot of damage. It gets the job done. If you like don't play him that often, but you use him in like the Spiral Abyss, you probably won't get bored of it that often. And he has this very like ominous like the whole karmic justice thing or whatever, karmic whatever debt nonsense. That's like his whole like thing. It creates this like black aura around him. So like he is like his like Anemo powers are like, it's very like dark. There's all these like dark stuff and like dark like spears and stuff like that. He looks really like dope, but he's just not that like he just won't like last that long when you're playing as him, and he's short too. Like a lot of the animal characters are short. I think the only tall one is Jean. Everyone's just like just some short person. Like they're like kids and short people. Like Zhao chose to be short, which is like weird, but whatever. Nonetheless, that's gonna be it for this tier list. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want to see. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. And yeah, take care. Have a good day.